Okay, everyone, so after you finish the first video session, which is about the listening to the new tool, now it's time to continue our lesson. In our lesson, we are going to study the blueprint 6. And yeah, I'm sorry because I labeled the name to a blueprint 4. Actually, it is the blueprint 6 for your label. So the lesson that you are going to study is the lesson 4. Actually, lesson 4 you already studied the keywords and some of the context of the lesson already. So in today's lesson, we are going to practice some of the reading and the listening skill. But before we move on to the main activities, I would like to review some of the vocabulary. Those are the key vocabulary that you learn from the lesson. So what is pop idol? Do you remember? I hope you remember that. Since the module 3, we study about the cultures. So culture are very broad term. We talk about how people live, isn't it? Um, from the various lesson, from lesson 1 up until lesson 3, we talk about food, we talk about fashions. There's a lot of different information regarding to the cultures. And in the lesson 4, we will look at how people entertains each other, and that is why we have the pop idols. So pop idol refer to the group of people who are very famous, and many people outside that entertainment industry follow those groups. For example, let's say BTS. Those are the pop idol of many people, because a lot of people really like to follow them, like to copy their styles. That's why a lot of company reach to them in order um, to make the advertisements. Okay, so these are the pop idol. Before we jump on to the listening and reading activity for today's lesson, I would like to quickly review some of the keywords that you will encounter in your reading and in your listening activities in a few minutes. So the first word that we study from yesterday, which is fame and fortune. I hope you remember this. When somebody say you have a fame and fortune, that's the meaning, which is a common way to describe great success or wealth. Number 2, which is role model. So role model refer to a people who are good example in societies. It can be a singer, it can be a dancer, it can be an actor, those who are very popular and they are a very good people in the society. Or it can be a businessman who donate a lot of money to the charities, to the society. Those can be a role model. Number 3, which is manufacture. So manufacture function as an adjective, which means being produced or made. So in the context of our reading, I hope you remember those pop idol, the star who is singing, who is dancing, who is entertaining the other person. Those are not a naturally talented. They are not born with special talented, but they get trained from the agency. Okay, and they become a star because of their commitment, because of their hard working. That is why when you are not good at something, those skills can be manufactured. Okay, you can build the skill, you can produce the skill up by just practicing, committing to what you like. Okay, the next one is the number 4, which is the word approach. New approach, or we can say new way. So approach refer to the way or the method of doing some things. Okay, the approach of teaching children, okay, or the way of teaching children. Number 5, the last one, which is constantly. So what does it mean, constantly? Constantly is an adverb when you use this to refer to the activities that continuously without stopping. It just happened. So in the context of your reading, as you know, the Japanese pop idol, their group have a lot of members and they can perform a whole day or in many different places constantly, which means they take turn performing to entertain the people because they have a lot of members in their team. All right, good. So these are the important vocabulary that will help you a lot when you practice your listening and your reading activities. So what are you expected to do in your listening and reading activity? Sure, when you listen, you need to check the 5 statements that are true according to the listening. So here you have 8 statements. So only 5 of these statements are true. So when you listen, as I already talked about the listening skill, you need to take note the important informations and locate the keyword that you need to find the answer. So in this case, talent agency choose the people with the best singing ability. So what is the keyword? Can you locate the keyword? The first one is talent agencies and the second one is best singing ability. So these are the 2 keywords that will help you find the answer to this exercise, whether the statement true or it is not true. Okay, so these are the 8 statements. You can take your time and browse through it. We will listen to the magazine article that you listened from the previous session. Now I hope you get all the keywords and key informations from this passage. So to make your listening a little bit easier, I also include the reading passage here. In order to improve your listening and your reading skill, your pronunciation specifically, when you listen, you need to read along the way. So your eye, you need to follow the letter or the word that you hear. Doing so will dramatically improve your listening skill and at the same time it will dramatically improve your pronunciation skill. So now everyone, it's time to listen, and the listening activity, this audio is 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So enjoy your listening.
Track 9.
In Japan, idols and idol groups are young people who are chosen by talent agencies to become pop stars. These agencies pick idols mainly for their appearance and personality. The cuter and sweeter they are, the better. Idols are manufactured stars who don't have to be especially talented. Their job is to appear in various media, to be charming, and to be good role models. Since the mid-2000s, the idol girl group AKB48 has been one of the most popular musical acts in Japan. By early 2017, AKB48 had sold more than 6 million albums and 50 million total records. This might be because the group has a unique approach. Most idol groups have a set number of singers, from 3 to about 20. AKB48 started bigger, with 3 teams of 16 each. The teams would perform in shifts at their own theater in Akihabara, Tokyo. This way, the group could constantly give concerts without wearing out its members. While one team was performing, the other teams could travel, meet fans, and make appearances at events or on TV shows. As AKB48 grew more and more popular, it also grew bigger and bigger. The group now has over 130 members. It even holds the world record for being the largest pop group. New members, trainees, enter constantly, with older members graduating, retiring, or starting a solo career. Members can join when they're as young as 13, and most retire in their early 20s. Being a member of AKB48 brings fame and fortune, but it's also hard work. The group's contract with its producers states that members have to follow certain rules. They must train daily and carefully maintain a perfect public image. They are even forbidden from having romantic relationships. Although the group is extremely popular, its producers have been criticized for these rules, which many people think are too strict.
Okay, that is the end of the listenings, and I hope you get the important information. So now let's move on to our 8 statements. And among these 8 statements, there are only 5 of these statements are true, based on your listening and your reading activities. So let's decide together which one is wrong and which one is right. So let's start with the first one. Talent agency choose the people with the best singing ability. So is that true? No, right? Because the talent agency, they choose the youngest people around 18 years old in order to join the group, and they can train those people because they don't need the best singing ability from birth. Sure, so this one is wrong. Statement number 2, AKB48 was one of the most popular idol group in the year 2000. No, it is not true. Statement number 3, most idol group don't have more than 20 singers. Yes, it is true, sure. AKB48 is divided into teams, so they don't have to perform at once. Yeah, sure, because they have 3 teams, 3 groups. Each group have 16 members. Okay. No other pop group in the world is bigger than AKB48. Sure, that is true. They are the biggest group in the world. The youngest member of the group are teenagers, which are true because 13 years old up until they are 20s, so they are all teenagers. These are 2 more statements, so there is only one statement that is true. So let's read the first one. AKB48 member work hard and practice daily. Let's see the other one. Many people complain about the group public behavior. So it clearly the second last is the correct statement, while the last one is not. So everyone complain about the group public behavior. Is it true? No, but the people complain or criticize the producer or the director who impose a very strict rule to the group. So this is the end of your listening and reading activity.
Track 9.
Sorry. So everyone, if you have any Q&A, which is questions and answer, you have question and we will give you the answer. For any point that you are not sure about, if you think, oh teacher, this statement is supposed to be true, why this statement is true, we are always welcome the questions, and where you can ask any question in your online study group. Your teacher is always there to help you find those answers. Okay, so now it's time to say goodbye, and I will see you again in the next video lesson. So everyone, goodbye, good luck, and stay safe.